The rotoscope system works this way. You take a movie camera, you film somebody doing a movement, right? You go back and you put it on this box. The box actually has a place where there's like a glass sheet right here. Behind the glass sheet is a projector, and it's projecting the film onto the glass sheet, so that what you get is you have the ability to actually draw the outer contour lines of a design of whatever it is the person doing, and then you can actually make your character do the same exact thing. Nowadays you can do it with Flash. You can actually take a video camera and shoot a video, and you can take it into a software like Premiere, and you can export it out as a target file, and it'll make all of these little separate scenes or frames or pictures of your movement that you just videotaped. And then all the ones that don't look alike, all the ones that are changed, all the ones that are different, you keep. The ones that look exactly alike, you discard. And now you have a registration for perfect movement. It's perfect. Disney actually, even when he was alive, they used the practice of rotoscope. When Disney died, they continued to use rotoscope. They continued to use it. What comes to mind is the Pocahontas cartoon, where they literally just almost did the entire movie that way. Mel Gibson and the model who actually played the part of the character Pocahontas. They shot every scene, with the exception of scenes where they actually jumped off the cliff and stuff like that. They didn't do that, but every scene where they had to work out something together, they shot it, then they went back and they used that footage as the framework or the reference to actually draw the little characters in there. It's cheating, but in the world, like they say, in the world of animation, there's no such thing as cheating. It's just in academia that it's cheating. You're not supposed to do it, but you could do it. You could do it. Just don't tell the instructors that you did it. You're great. You're the greatest animator ever. It'll be fine. Huh? In the world of academia, here they don't want you to cheat. Academia, school, they don't want you to cheat.
Academy, academia.
Yeah. Academia.
Oh,
not like macadamia.
Okay, he used the rotoscope technique in the Out of the Inkwell series. Fleischer's brothers Dave was the one who dressed up and played the part of Coco the Clown. Dave was filmed in a clown suit on a building in New York. Oh, okay, 1920s. First color cartoon. Footnote: U.S. animation industry was centered in New York in the late 1920s and the early 1930s. Okay. 1920s first color cartoon. 1920 Brave presented the debut of Thomas Cat, done in Brewster color, 2-emulsion color process system. However, the process was judged too expensive for commercial use. Later, created by the Sullivan Studios in 1920, Felix the Cat became the most popular character of the time period. The Sullivan Studio was the studio where Pat Sullivan was the main producer, and Otto Messimer was the guy who, again, like Disney and iWorks, Messimer was the one that created the guy. Otto, he created him. But the problem with Otto, his story is that Otto was a drunk. He liked to drink a lot. So on Fridays, when normally what they used to do in the early days of animation is on Fridays they would pay you, right? You get your paycheck. But there was a bar next to every studio. So the animators, men and women, they would frequent that bar. And they would build a tab, and then on Fridays they would pay it. So one day, Pat Sullivan decided that he no longer wanted one of his key animators, Otto Messimer, to actually consume any more alcoholic beverages. He didn't want him to do that. Okay? So he decided he was going to fire Otto. He fires him. Otto, out of anger, decides that night to come and sneak back into the studio. He sneaks back into the studio and literally urinates on Pat Sullivan's desk, right? Sullivan, unaware of this, you know, decides that after he's talking with some more money guys or more silent partners, that they're like, well, Pat actually like just discloses, hey, you know, I got rid of Otto. You know, Otto's gone. Otto's gone? Man, she said, we just closed a deal with Paramount Studios, man, for you guys to make some more films. What are we going to do? I mean, you got somebody who can draw like Otto? No. I think you need to get Otto. Now, the thing about this is he already fired Otto, so that meant that he had to hire him back. Pat comes back to the studio that day. Of course, his room probably smelled pretty rancid because of the urination, you know. So he comes in. He's sitting at the desk. I'm sure that had urine on it too. And in walks. He calls Otto. In walks Otto. Right. Otto Messimer didn't know what to think. You know, I mean, what would you think? I mean, you just urinated on your boss's desk. You're fired. You know that the only reason they're calling you down there is to, you know, is to chew you out or maybe somehow, you know, get some kind of revenge or something. They're not calling you down there for anything else. You know, so you're standing there, you're a little nervous, and then he discloses to Otto, you know, man, what are we doing? I mean, we're a team. We're a team. We're family. We're family. Why don't we just forget what happened the other day? You know? And of course, Otto probably was like, well, yeah, okay, we can do that. And they never discussed the urination of the desk ever, you know. But as history shows, like when you check, when you go and research Felix, it's actually written in there. It's written in there, you know, because it happened, and it was, I guess the historian felt that it's ironic that a boss would fire an employee and then have to rehire him, and the employee actually, you know, they got some kind of vengeance out of being fired, and it was looked over. It was fine. I'm pretty sure Otto probably thought, well, I probably could do that again. You know, I need to. You know, that's cool. Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. Anyway, the Sullivan Studio produced one episode every 2 weeks. It began merchandising cartoon characters, dolls, watches, etc. That was later on, like in the mid 1900s, when they started thinking about merchandising stuff. Click it.
Takes it out.
Okay. Walt Disney enters. Born in Chicago in 1901. In his early years, he decided to be a cartoonist. He took classes at the Fine Arts Institute of Chicago. Wait. Okay, let's do it. Go back. Well, just go back to the previous. Click it. That, click.
I am. Uh-oh.
All right, just let's do it. That's fine. That's fine. Just click this. Just let's do it. That'll go away. Okay. When I first got this PowerPoint, it actually said Disney went to the Art Institute. It really did. It said that. And I looked it up and I'm like, there's no Art Institute in the 1900s. Was there an Art Institute in Chicago? Wow. And I had to ask around, and they were like, I don't think so. At age 19, he was a cartoonist at the Kansas City Film Ad Company, where he made cutout figures and riveted joints that were manipulated under the camera. The Film Ad Company made short animated commercials for local merchants. Disney's first business attempt, in 1921, with Fred Harmon, another cartoonist from the Film Ad Company, formed the KC Studio. Now, Fred Harmon later would go on and start a studio with someone else. Walt and Fred secretly rented the studio and bought a used camera and a second-hand Model T. Geez, they had enough money to buy a Model T. They were in